there. This is Welsh ASMR 82. Hey, how you doing? So, I bought this book like a year ago, and I did the French version. It didn't do very well, and I sort of forgot about the video and thought, people don't really like travel guides, so I put this book away. And I was talking about it to my Patreons the other week, and I said, oh, that video did terribly. And then everyone showed their surprise and said, oh, that's how I found your channel in the first place. I love travel guides. So I did an extra video of this on my Patreon, which has never been released on this channel. And I looked at it a little in better detail. And that France guidebook has actually done really, really well. It started off very, very slowly, and I just forgot about it, and over a year it's done really well. So I'm bringing it back. I'm going to do Great Britain. I apologise in advance. Great Britain means the island of Great Britain, so it's not the UK, because there's no Northern Ireland, which I didn't realise when I bought it. It's split into different sections. They put Wales into North Wales and South and Mid Wales, which is fair enough. Scotland, they've done the Highlands and Islands, and then Central and Eastern, and then lastly Glasgow in the southwest, and Edinburgh and the southeast. And then in England they have broken it down to the northeast, the northwest, which includes the Isle of Man, Yorkshire and the Humber, the heart of England, quite an interesting expression, the East Midlands, East Anglia, Thames Valley and the Cotswolds, London, the Downs and Channel Coast, Bristol, Bath and Wessex, and then Devon and Cornwall. So I'm just going to flick through this book and read little bits of information. I hope you find this ASMR video very, very relaxing. But also a little bit interesting, of course, which is what we do here on this channel. If you want to see more of this book, then I consider, or you should consider, joining my Patreon. I'll say, okay, so London, England, Wales and Scotland. Let's do a little bit from each. I love the way they put London as different to England. Getting to know London. I was in London on the weekend. So we have the wheel here. The London Eye is what it's called, it's not a wheel. The London Eye. And then we have this area is Kensington and Chelsea. It's the Shard, of course. Here we've got a map of a very small section of London. This is the River Thames that flows through the middle. So everything south is obviously the South London, and anything to the north is North London. But this is fairly central. Westminster's here with the Houses of Parliament. Westminster Abbey is there. And then we have Tate Britain down there. Museum, or an art museum. Big Ben and the Houses of Parliament here. We have the London Dungeon Museum, National Theatre, Covent Garden's over here, and here's the main piazza and Central Market, the Royal Opera House, next to Soho, that's Covent Garden there, Soho's here, Chinatown is here, that's where I had my lunch on Sunday, Gerrard Street, Leicester Square, Trafalgar Square, and then we've got Piccadilly Circus, Green Park, St James's Park, and Buckingham Palace, of course, the Queen's Gallery and the Royal Mews. Mayfair is there, and then we've got Belgravia down to Chelsea, Kensington and Chelsea. Pimlico is down south here. Lambeth is there. It's a picture of the National Gallery, erected in the heart of the West End in order to be accessible by all. The National Gallery houses some of the most famous paintings in the world by masters such as Rubens, Velázquez, Monet and Van Gogh, or Van Gogh, however you pronounce it. The Houses of Parliament. I did a tour. I really enjoyed it actually, it was very interesting. You get to sit on the seats and everything. Westminster Abbey. That's where we have coronations and weddings of the royal family. Buckingham Palace. Soldiers taking part in the trooping of the colour ceremony. I'm not into the royal family at all, however. Tate Britain. The National Collection of British Art. And more. The Mall is quite nice. The Mall. This broad triumphal approach from Trafalgar Square to Buckingham Palace was created by Aston Webb when he redesigned the front of the palace and the Victoria Monument in 1911. The spacious tree-lined avenue follows an old path at the edge of St James's Park. The path was laid out in the reign of Charles II when it became London's most fashionable promenade. The Mall is used for royal processions on special occasions. Flagpoles down both sides fly the national flags of foreign heads of state during official visits. The Mall is closed to traffic on Sundays. It's Trafalgar Square. Trafalgar Square and its fountains with South Africa House on the right. The Imperial War Museum, I've been there. It's very interesting. And the London Eye on the River Thames itself. This is Covent Garden. Lots of places to go and watch. There's operas, for example, and plays. Okay, I don't want to linger too long on London, we could stay there forever. It's the Tower of London, for example. Okay, Brighton. So Brighton is in the south east. I went there once with some friends, I really enjoyed it. It's quite famous for its pier, its beach. Like most places in Britain, if you're on the coast, you usually have fish and chips. Fish and chips are one of my favourite meals. And Brighton in particular is very famous because it is the LGBT capital of Britain. So it says Brighton has the most renowned LGBTQ plus scene in England and outside of London, the liveliest and most vibrant. Today's thriving LGBTQ plus community is thought to make up as much as 15% of the city's population. The epicenter is the seafront Camptown district, also known as Camptown. Camptown. And the annual Pride Festival, held in the first week of August, is among the biggest in Europe, attracting superstar music acts to the main venue at Preston Park. Lovely. And then we have Winchester. Actually, I'm not going to do this section because I did do it in the Patreon video, so I'm going to skip this bit. Not repeat myself. Oh, lovely Cambridge. So I used to work in Cambridge and I adore it. Such a nice place. You can go punting down the river, so someone does like on a gondola, a punt guide gliding down the Cam River, past the backs of colleges. So all of these old colleges. And this is just the high street. There are so many tourists from China that some of the shops have got their menus in Chinese as well as English. And yeah, when I remember sitting outside with my dad having coffee, and every other person that walked past either spoke Chinese or Spanish. It was really crazy. And in the summer they have lots of English schools, or places where you can come and learn English. So Chinese people come over and study for 6 weeks or whatever in these colleges, and then they get a certificate and it says that they learned English at Cambridge. But of course they didn't learn it at Cambridge University, did they? But no one really checks. So they have a certificate that says they learned English at Cambridge. So some of the highlights, we have the Fitzwilliam Museum there. Is that the one with the mummies in? I think I touched the sarcophagus and I got very severely told off by a lady. I'm sorry. Queen's College, Pembroke, Corpus Christi, Emmanuel. Then we have Trinity College, King's College, Clare College, and Magdalen College, Museum of Cambridge up here, and St John's. The round church is there, and Jesus College. And then the University Botanical Gardens is down here. It's a very beautiful one, actually. I highly recommend it. Let's find out. The Fitzwilliam Museum, part of the University of Cambridge. This massive neoclassical building contains some exceptional works of art, particularly paintings and ceramics. The core of the collection was bequeathed in 1816 by the 7th Viscount Fitzwilliam. Other gifts have since greatly enhanced the range of exhibits. Works by Titian and the 17th century Dutch masters, including Hals and Cuyp, stand out among the paintings. French Impressionist gems include Monet's Le Printemps and Renoir's La Place Clichy, while Stanley Spencer's self-portrait with Patricia Preece is a key British painting. A collection of miniatures, including the earliest surviving depiction of Henry VIII. In the same gallery are some dazzling illuminated manuscripts, notably the 15th century Mets Pontificale, a French liturgical work. The impressive Glacier collection of European ceramics includes a unique display of English Delft ware from the 16th and 17th centuries. Handel's bookcase contains folios of his work, and nearby is Keats' original manuscript for Ode to a Nightingale in 1819. The Botanical Garden, an oasis just off Trumpington Street, as well as an academic resource. The garden has been on this site since 1846. It has a superb collection of trees and a sensational water garden. The Winter Garden is one of the finest in the country. Then we have Norwich, just up the road. I do like Norwich. We've got the castle and then the massive cathedral. See if we can find a picture. Ely Cathedral, sorry. Ely being one of the smallest cities in England, one of the marvels of the medieval world. Magnificent Ely Cathedral is more than 900 years old and is highly regarded for its size and beauty. Visible for miles around, the cathedral is often referred to as the Ship of the Fens, because the Fens are like this sort of marshland. It's got Oliver Cromwell's house. I have lots of friends living in Ely, actually. Okay, let's skip some more. Oh, we're going into Scotland, are we? No. Oh, Bath is another place I really enjoy. It's got beautiful buildings and houses made out of the, oh god, am I going to get the wrong word? Sandstone. Like my city of Swansea, Bath was bombed during the Second World War and many of these buildings were destroyed, but they cleverly had a mandate to rebuild all of the houses and buildings in the same materials so they didn't stand out, whereas Swansea didn't. So all of our buildings are disgusting. But Bath is absolutely idyllic. Warm-toned Bath stone. So this is the Bath Abbey. Is that it? Like much of the city from the local warm-toned Bath stone, is really beautiful stone, I have to say. Bath Abbey, this splendid abbey, was supposedly designed by divine agency. According to legend, Bishop Oliver King dreamed of angels going up and down to heaven, which then is by the ladders carved on the west front facade. Devon and Cornwall. Torbay, really beautiful. The seaside towns of Torquay, Paignton and Brixham form an almost continuous resort around the sweep of sandy beach and blue waters of Torbay. Because of its mild climate, semi-tropical gardens and Victorian hotel architecture, this coastline has been dubbed the English Riviera. I remember a lot of holidays going to that area of the world. It's absolutely lovely. It says Paignton Zoo, I think I've been there, teaches children about the planet's wildlife, and from here you can take the steam railway, an ideal way to visit Dartmouth. Dartmouth, historically an important port. Dartmouth is from where the English fleets set sail to join the Second and Third Crusades. Some 18th century houses adorn the cobbled quay of Baryard's Cove, while carved timber buildings line the 17th century Butterwalk, home to the Dartmouth Museum, with its impressive collection of maritime artefacts. Okay, the Lake District. I want to get to Wales and Scotland. Wales. It's more like get nice sheep and some valleys and some mountains. So as I said, it's split into two. We've got North, and then we've camped Mid Wales with South Wales. I'm from Swansea, as I've said a million times. North Wales. So we can see the Isle of Anglesey here. We can see Carnarvon, number 5. Let's try and look at Carnarvon. I really want to visit. And then we have the connection here with England. Birkenhead over to Liverpool is here. And Wrexham is there. So Portmeirion is absolutely stunning. My mum went recently, but I think it's Portmeirion I'm thinking of, they don't allow dogs in the city, in the town. So she had a dog with her and they had to turn around and go back. This bizarre Italianate village on a private peninsula at the top of Cardigan Bay was created by Welsh architect Sir Clough Williams-Ellis between 1925 and 73. He fulfilled a childhood dream by building a village to my own fancy on my own chosen site. It is now owned by a charitable trust. The whimsical mix of styles in Portmeirion is thought to have influenced postmodern architecture. And the village's huge copper statue of Hercules. We've got Snowdonia, which dominates the northern land, the massive mountain range. Beth Gelert. The village has a spectacular location on the confluence of the Glasleen and the Colwyn rivers between two mountain passes. The name refers to an old Welsh legend linked to the locality in the 19th century by David Pritchard, a local hotelier, to boost trade. It tells of the noble hound Gelert, who fought and killed a wolf to protect the infant son of Llywelyn the Great at the expense of his own life. Pritchard created Gelert's grave by the river Glasleen, a short walk south of the village. A particularly fine walk in the area leads south to the Aberglasleen Pass and along a section of the Welsh Highland Railway. I think the same story exists in Irish folk tales as well. Something like cool something. Can't remember what it was now. Okay, and then if we go south, more mountain ranges, the Brecon Beacons, not far from my home. A place I'd really like to visit is Llyn y Fan Fach. The Lake of the Little Hill stands at 510 metres, or 1,660 feet, and is surrounded by the even higher peaks of the Black Mountain Range. Llyn y Fan Fach is imbued with myth and legend, being one of many lakes around Britain from which a beautiful woman is said to have emerged. She enchanted a local boy, and her father allowed them to marry, provided he would never hit her 3 times. Inevitably this happened, and the woman returned to the lake, leaving her husband broken-hearted. Well, he shouldn't have done that then. Danarogov Caves. I've been on school trips there. The network of caves at Danarogov is thought to be the largest in Britain, though only part of it is open to the public. A further section is open to experienced cavers, and there are still more to be explored. At present, the main cave extends for 17 kilometres or 11 miles. And some cavers believe this is only about 10% of the full network. The caves were discovered in 1912 by 3 brothers who managed to cross 4 subterranean lakes before they could go no further. The complex also has other attractions, including a museum, a mock iron village, and a dinosaur theme park. The capital city of Cardiff, Caerdydd, is the city centre. And this is the Millennium Centre. This is a line of poetry in English and Welsh by poet Gwyneth Lewis on the Wales Millennium Centre. It's like sort of opera house that we have. Opened in 2004, this leading cultural centre stages a range of arts performances including ballet, opera, contemporary dance and musicals. I think I saw My Fair Lady there once. The acoustics were very good. It is home to leading cultural bodies such as the Welsh National Opera, National Dance Company Wales, and BBC National Orchestra Wales. Mumbles and the Gower Peninsula. I was sharing these pictures with my friend the other day, and she was like, "You live next to that?" I was like, "Yeah, it's like half an hour from my house." Three Cliffs Bay on the Gower Peninsula, an area of outstanding natural beauty. Swansea Bay leads to the Mumbles, a gateway to the 30-kilometre or 19-mile long Gower Peninsula, Britain's first area of outstanding natural beauty. A string of sheltered bays leads to Oxwich and Port Einon, beaches popular with water sport enthusiasts. The vast beach at Rhossili leads to North Gower and a coastline of low-lying burrows, salt marshlands and cockle beds. I had to explain to my Colombian colleague what a cockle was the other day. It's a mollusk similar to a mussel. Tintern Abbey, left in ruins after Henry VIII's dissolution of the monasteries in 1536. Okay, let's skip and go to Scotland, shall we? Edinburgh is one place I really, really, really want to visit. It is so beautiful. So we have a little map here. No, I don't know it at all, so I'm going to discover Edinburgh Castle here. It's very hilly. I think there's hills surrounding. So we've got Edinburgh Castle, which I think is up on the hill, right? The National Museum of Scotland, the Old College, Scottish Parliament's over there. Is that called Stormount? No, I can't remember. Palace of Holyrood. Oh yeah, Holyrood House. Scottish National Gallery, Royal Scottish Academy, Waverley Station, the City Art Centre, Museum of Childhood. So the Scottish National Gallery, it says one of Britain's finest art galleries. The Scottish National Gallery is worth visiting for its 15th to 19th century British and European paintings alone. Highlights among the Scottish works include portraits by Alan Ramsay and Henry Raeburn, such as the latter's Reverend Robert Walker skating on Duddingston Loch circa 1800. The early German collection includes Gerard David's almost comic strip treatment of the Three Legends of St. Nicholas circa 1500. Works by Raphael, Titian and Tintoretto accompany Southern European paintings such as Velázquez's An Old Woman Cooking Eggs from 1620, and this entire room devoted to the Seven Sacraments circa 1640 by Nicolas Poussin. Oh, look at that. The Royal Mile. Sorry, you can't see it properly. The Royal Mile, Castle Hill to Canongate. This historic stretch of 4 ancient streets from Castle Hill to Canongate formed the main thoroughfare of medieval Edinburgh, linking the ancient castle to the palace of Holyrood House. Confined by the city wall, the old town grew upwards, with some tenements rising 20 stories above the dark, cobbled wynds and closes below. Oh, nice, a Scottish whisky experience. Museum of Childhood. I'm interested in this. This lovely museum is not merely a toy collection, but a magical insight into childhood, with all its joys and trials. Founded in 1955, it was the first museum in the world to be devoted to the history and theme of childhood. The collection includes medicines, school books, clothing and uniforms, old-fashioned toys and a growing collection of computer games, action figures and game consoles. I would love it. Oh, there's Edinburgh Castle. Resounding across the city at 1 p.m. every day, Edinburgh's 1 o'clock gun has been startling visitors since 1861. It was originally intended to help ships moored in the Firth of Forth, say that when you're drunk, the Firth of Forth, to synchronise their chronometers, American spelling, to Greenwich Mean Time, essential for accurate navigation, but it has now become a time-honoured tradition. The first guns were muzzle-loading cannons, but since 2001 a more modern 105mm artillery piece has been served. I'll save Glasgow till next time. Let's look. Ooh, how beautiful. Loch Lomond and the Trossachs National Park. Look at that, how stunning. Did you know at 45 square kilometres or 27.5 square miles, Loch Lomond is the largest stretch of freshwater in Britain by surface area? Loch Lomond, look at that view, crikey. Of Scotland's many lochs, Loch Lomond is perhaps the most popular and best loved. Lying just 30 kilometres or 19 miles northwest of Glasgow, its accessibility has helped its rise to prominence. Duncrine, a small hill some 5 kilometres or 3 miles northeast of Ballach, on the southern shore, gives an excellent view of the loch, while the western shore is the most developed, with villages such as Luss and Tarbet attracting many visitors. Aberdeen. I did that in my Patreon video, so I'm not going to repeat it. Eilean Donnan Castle, amid the stunning scenery of Glen Shiel. So this is the Cairngorms National Park. Yeah, the north part of Scotland just has completely different fauna and fauna to the rest of the UK. The Cairngorms is home to Scotland's 2 highest villages, Tomintoul and Dalwhinnie. A mountain biker riding across bleakly beautiful moorland in the Cairngorms. The vast wilderness, home to reindeer, red deer, golden eagles and mountain hare, is within easy reach of all of Scotland's major cities. The Cairngorm Plateau is dominated by Magui, which is Britain's second highest mountain at 1,309 metres or 4,296 feet, and can be ascended from both Speyside and Deeside. It is said to be haunted by a resident spectre, the Old Grey Man. However, the brooding peak of Loch Nagar, with its magnificent northern corrie, is perhaps the most coveted Munro of the lot. Author and hiker Nan Shepherd wrote, "There is no getting accustomed to what she dubbed the living mountain." Oh yes, my dad's been to Loch Ness. So the ruins of Urquhart Castle overlooking the still waters of Loch Ness. Loch Ness, at 39 kilometres, 24 miles long, 1.5 kilometres or 1 mile at its widest, and up to 305 metres or 1,000 feet deep. Loch Ness fills the northern half of the Great Glen Fault from Fort William to Inverness. It is joined to Lochs Oich and Lochie by the 35 kilometre or 22 mile Caledonian Canal, designed by Thomas Telford. On the western shore, the A82 passes the ruins of the 16th century Quhart Castle, apologies if I butcher the name, which was blown up by government supporters in 1692 to prevent it falling into Jacobite hands. A short distance west, the Loch Ness Centre and Exhibition explores the loch's environment and the legend of its most famous resident, Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster. It's an interesting section. Before you go, currency is the pound sterling. Average daily spend, save £60, spend £120, splurge £200, bottled water £1, coffee £2.50, pint of beer £4.50, dinner for £2.60. It's kind of not far from correct actually. Climate, this is the funniest thing. The longest days occur May to August, while October to February sees the shortest day light hours. Temperatures average 15 Celsius, 59 Fahrenheit in summer, and drop below 0 or 32 Fahrenheit in winter. October and November see the most rainfall, but heavy showers occur all year round, especially in Wales. Electricity supply, type G, fitting 3-pronged plugs. Apparently a little bit unique to Britain. I think not many places have the same plugs as us. Language. Am I going to lose my temper? English is the official language spoken in Britain. Accents vary tremendously between regions and can at times be stronger in certain areas. We've forgotten Welsh and Gaelic. But very true, if you're speaking English in Glasgow compared to someone in Cambridge and someone in, I don't know, maybe Aberystwyth, then it's very different. Speed limit 70 miles an hour. London to Bristol 2 hours. London to, it doesn't do anywhere in Wales, thanks. It's 3 hours from London to Swansea by train. I know, because I did it the day before yesterday. Rules of the road: drive on the left. Seatbelts must be worn. Britain's cities are not especially cycle-friendly. Traffic is often heavy and roads are narrow. Cycle lanes and the occasional cycle path are not unusual, but only a small number of cities are particularly attractive for cycling. Is he going to mention Cambridge? Among the best are Cambridge and York, where it is easy to rent a bike. Several cities have embraced bike-sharing schemes run by Next Bike and modelled on the Santander cycle system in London. All involve using credit cards, blah blah blah. It's difficult to cycle in Wales because it's so mountainous. Tap water, unless otherwise stated, tap water in the UK is safe to drink, and actually in Wales is as good as bottled water. Thank you very much. When I moved to Spain and they were like, don't drink the tap water, I was like, why? The tap water is better than the bottled stuff. But that's just in Wales. And 999 is the emergency number. There we go. I will do more. If you want to leave a comment and ask me nicely to look at somewhere in particular, then why don't you? I'm open to suggestions, so put a little comment in the box below, like the video if you enjoyed it, and also also subscribe, join me on Patreon where you can see a further video using this book. And if this video actually does well, then I will do a second part quite soon. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you are really into my videos, I will put a link, by the way, to the French one here in a second. So if you're into this type of video, then let me know in the comment section and I can do more, because I do really enjoy them myself. And I kind of got the idea that you didn't, so let me know. Thanks for watching everyone, take care, and I'll see you very soon. Big hello to all my new patrons.